Tomorrow is the International Day of Persons with Disabilities, and we are commemorating the day by having in our midst two incredible personalities who have defied seen or unseen obstacles to usher in true diversity, innovation, and fresh thinking. I now invite Zehn Kashyap, activist and change maker, for the lightning talk session. She is going to be talking on the power of differentness. Over to you, Zen. Zehn Kashyap identifies as she or her and is a student of grade 10 at Vasant Valley School, New Delhi. She represents the growing population of students worldwide who have special needs. Not letting her challenges define her, she has evolved in a staunch believer in the power of differentness. She frequently uses her voice to speak up and speak out for those less privileged than her. Zen is today an internationally published writer, award winning speaker, and an advocate for destigmatizing disability. She has advocated for and driven numerous programs for causes around differentness, mental health, and diversity in international and national forums, including CBSE Board, Girl Up Global Leadership Summit 2021 and 2022, Lady Gaga's Born This Way Foundation, People Matters, and Tribes for Good, NeuroAid Foundation and PhD Chambers of Commerce, and Industry and Ashoka University. Zahn's audiobook, L'Extraordinaire, is an ode to the power of differentness and tribute to the value of kindness and empathy. She hopes to encourage others to look beyond their differentness and enjoy small victories in everyday life. Over to you, Zahn.
Thank you, Dr. Soundarya Rajesh, founder, president of the Avtar Group, for granting me this terrific opportunity to speak at the Diversity Mahotsav 2022 today. It is a huge honor and privilege to be here today amongst all of you to speak on a topic I am so passionate about, the power of differentness. Hello, everyone. My name is Zehn Kashyap, and I'm a student of grade 10 at Vasant Valley School, New Delhi. Being an internationally published writer, award-winning speaker, and an advocate for destigmatizing disability, I have driven numerous programs around differentness, mental health, and diversity on international and national forums. Representing the growing population of students worldwide who have special needs, I have developed my own brand of empathy. One may say my own superpower that arises from being able to walk for a mile in my fellow students, albeit rather painful shoes. To give you some context, I was born extremely premature and was diagnosed with a condition that would cause lifelong mobility issues. My initial medical prognosis was bleak, with the doctors telling my parents that I would never be able to sit up and would be lucky if I had a vocabulary of 400 words. Such a limitation wouldn't even allow me to write 10 different phrases, let alone dream of speaking at this prestigious forum today. In this journey of rehabilitation, I have been supported by a thriving community, including my very inclusive school, for over a decade now. I acknowledge with humility the sheer privilege that I have, and also the responsibility to pay it forward to the village that helped me become who I am today. In this process, I've evolved into a staunch believer of using my voice to speak up for those less privileged than me. To this end, I have made a conscious effort to seek opportunities to amplify messages around destigmatizing disability and promoting mental health and women's rights, specifically in the context of disability. Not only are these causes very close to my heart, but are also conversations that must be started at a very young age. So, in school, I participated in a poetry writing competition, where we were asked to write on the topic of crooked lines. It struck me then that a topic so simple was actually so profound. As I contextualized it in terms of what it meant to me, I thought about how through generations of conditioning, We, as a society, have arrived at a rampantly prevalent definition of what is normal and what is not. However, in doing so, we often ignore the power that differentness bestows upon us. If we aspire to move from being good to being great, we must actually celebrate our imperfections. As a first step, we must accept the fact that each one of us is unique. Once we do so, we'll be able to take the next step towards normalizing and thereby destigmatizing differences. In my opinion, as a society, we neither understand nor act enough to tackle the challenges surrounding disability and differentness for many reasons. I wouldn't really say that ableism in and of itself is the sole culprit. And despite the growing incidence of disability across the world, there are a host of self-perpetuating issues that cause and then exacerbate this issue. Let me endeavor to break it down here. Firstly, individuals are unwilling to accept the fact that such issues exist. And this denial syndrome applies not only to those impacted, but their parents, caregivers, and significant others as well. Secondly, if they do accept it due to societal taboos or associated stigmas, they refrain from talking about it, especially in the developing world. And thirdly, in the absence of acknowledgement, advocacy, and actions that would promote changes in societal infrastructure and legislative action are still absent from our systems. So, to break this vicious cycle, advocacy and open dialogue hold the key. And to turn this key, arts like music, poetry, and even writing often play the role of catalyst in spreading the message in bite-sized, easily digestible pieces to the masses. When it comes to normalizing differentness, it is imperative that we start sensitizing children early in life. And what better way to do so than through music, art, and play? Throughout history, many renowned geniuses have lived remarkable and extraordinary lives, from Frida Kahlo, Helen Keller, and Albert Einstein, to Stephen Hawking, Andrea Bocelli, Beethoven, and even Van Gogh. All these masters of their craft are remembered for their contributions, not their disabilities. In fact, these disabilities are merely incidental, as they did not by any means define them, nor were they the reason driving their success and legacy. They were able to do so because they accepted themselves as they were, lock, stock, and smoking barrel. And that, in my opinion, is exactly how it should be. Neil Marcus, an actor with a disability, once said, "Disability is not a brave struggle or courage in the face of adversity. Disability is an art. It's an ingenious way to live." Not only was the statement profound and thought-provoking, but also practical and grounded in reality. At a basic physical level, different kinds of disabilities result in affected people carrying out their daily lives in ingenious ways, just to merely go on with the mundane job of living. Yet, simultaneously, living with a disability makes one more perceptive and allows for deeper conversations and bonds with people around them. But most importantly, I feel that the single biggest skill that disability allows us to explore and develop is empathy. In fact, even in the cutthroat world of technology and business, empathy is now regarded as a very important character trait. Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, arguably one of the biggest innovative companies of all time, and a parent to a child with special needs, believes that empathy is the key to business innovation. This is because innovation comes from one's ability to grasp the customer's unarticulated needs, which is only possible if you can relate to the situation. That is, truly empathize with them. While initiating conversations around these topics, I discovered that talking about these issues, whether overtly or covertly, is cathartic and empowering for people. In many ways, we owe it as much as to ourselves as to the countless voiceless others to speak up and encourage healthy dialogue to normalize differentness. Personally, I believe that even if I can make an iota of difference, it would only be the first step in fostering meaningful, non-judgmental conversations and nurturing a positive change. Your partnership will help me amplify these messages and shine a light on our diverse perspectives as we advocate for differentness and leverage the power it bestows upon us. To begin this partnership with a stroke of creativity, I'm in the process of publishing my audiobook, L'Extraordinaire, an ode to the power of differentness, kindness, and empathy. I do hope that it encourages others to look beyond their differentness and enjoy the small victories in everyday life. Taking a leaf out of this book, I am proud to recite my award-winning poem Crooked Lines, that is an ode to embracing our imperfections in the journey to becoming the best possible versions of ourselves. Crooked Lines. One day, I thought of crooked lines and what they mean to me. You see them all around in life. Just look around and you'll see. To me, crooked lines are perfect and mean that things are right. The beauty of their existence makes me squeal in true delight. Crooked lines, they are so smart, with a mind of their own. They go this way, they go that way. So brave and so alone. I feel they tell a story of how life should be lived actually. For perfection is overrated. It doesn't really exist in reality. Crooked lines are like brave people who do not hesitate. Every bend has a tale to tell that is unique and so great. They don't pretend to be curvy and neither to be super straight. They embrace a little bit of both, and so they end up great. Not at all embarrassed of what others of them might think to the parts that make them up. They all have strong links. Crooked lines, they show us that having flaws is really okay, that we can truly be ourselves, no matter what people say. Let's try to be like crooked lines and deeply understand. Own up to your personal story. We can live a life so grand. So take it as a compliment if they say, a crooked line you are. Simply living up to your values will make you in life go very far. Thank you.
Wow, what a powerful session. Thank you, Zen.